This box? Hello, my Mario making friends. Nintendo absolutely loves just dropping these crazy left field things on us. It's their favorite, and they just gave us an update video for Super Mario Maker 2. It's the last major update is coming to the game on April 27th. At the time of this recording, that is 2 days away. And they packed so much stuff into this 4-minute video. They probably could have just done another Mario Maker Direct. Like, they could have spread it out a little more. It contains so much stuff. So first, I'm just going to go over the stuff that they are adding, and then I will give you a large number of opinions of that stuff, of one new feature in particular. But let's start from the top. So, everybody expected new themes. You know, based on Super Mario 3D World having its own little box of extra themes. We all thought there'd be more themes. In particular, Super Mario Bros. 2 is the only game is not being represented as much as the other ones, especially the gameplay style. We all sort of expected that, and instead, they have decided to give us a special power-up, a special kind of mushroom that turns Mario into Super Mario Bros. 2 Mario, giving him the ability to, you know, get up on top of stuff and pull it up and throw it. And it's very interesting, and I want to say it's weird that they didn't just do the full theme, but like the more I think about it, the more it's just kind of like, I don't know, it probably would have been more complicated than it was worth to do an entire theme, and they might have had to incorporate a lot of other stuff too, when it was really easier to just do this, just to kind of make it a power-up. So like, now that I see it in action, I'm like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. I can kind of see that. That's just a much simpler way of doing that. I'm not too broken up that it wasn't like a big giant theme. So then they added like a bunch of new suits and stuff. You have the frog suit. You can swim around super fast. The balloon suit, the power balloon, is that from a game? Is that from a specific game? I know that you like inflate and float around in Super Mario 64 DS. Forgive me for not knowing if this is from something else, but just like, okay, a balloon where you float around, cool. Super ACORN coming back from New Super Mario Bros. U. Okay, why not? You know, I don't know, why not? Boomerang flower. Then you got, yeah, a bunch of stuff from like Super Mario 3D World and 3D Land. Boomerang flower, pretty cool. Cannon box is probably one of my favorite parts of this update. Just the ability to run around and shoot has a lot of, I think it'll have a lot of interesting applications, so I'm pretty excited about that one. Then you got a, you know, propeller box. I was actually like surprised I wasn't in the game already. I just didn't think about it, you know what I mean? It's one of those kind of obvious power-ups. So propeller box, you got the red POW box. It's kind of cool, you know, it makes some interesting stuff with blocks and stuff. Then just Goomba mask. You can just be a Goomba because it's silly, and you can not get hit by enemies because they think you're a Goomba. Because why not, right? Just because why not? Bullet Bill Mask is another really, really interesting one. It just lets you shoot around. It says for as long as it lasts or something. Another thing where it's just a lot of, and like I always say this, every time there are any sort of new things announced, especially, you know, when the game was first announced, every individual new thing changes the gameplay infinitely, you know, like just exponentially. Each new thing can interact with all the other things, and so every time you add, especially a new type of traversal, you know, like the Bullet Bill Mask, that changes so much. That can change, like entire levels can be based just on that now. So I love it. I love these kinds of updates. I love these kinds of just new abilities. And then like they throw in Koopalings. Just, okay, here's all 7 Koopalings you can just use now. Cool. And then you got the cursed key. You know, it's kind of fun. You can use like as a trap kind of thing. The on-off trampoline is yet another one. It's kind of like the on-off switch that they added on this one. Where it's just like, okay, yeah, people are going to be making whole levels based on that. Whole entire crazy contraptions based on that thing right there. You can turn the bounciness on and off. That's cool. Mecha Koopas were weird. They're just like, there weren't any games where they had these abilities, right? I don't think there were. I'm pretty sure it was just they were like in 3. There might have been some of the new ones, but like now they can like shoot ice and shoot lightning and stuff. That is weird. I don't think that's been a thing before, but I don't know why it's a thing now, but it is, and it's cool. It's just another sort of thing. So now obviously there's the very obvious highlight, World Maker. They did it. I did not think they would do it. I'm such a pessimist that when Nintendo first revealed Super Mario Maker on the Wii U, I was like, okay, they're not gonna want this to actually replace regular Mario games. So I thought these levels were gonna be super short, one and done, just like very shallow, like a very shallow version of Mario. I ended up being wrong. The courses are plenty long, and they've given us so many tools, especially in the sequel, to make these amazing, long, complex levels. And so even after that, I'm like, okay, I want a world maker. I don't think they're gonna do it though, because that's the final step in Super Mario Maker 2 evolution. Super Mario Maker evolution as a whole is the ability to take our levels and string them together in some sort of world to make our own Mario game. I was sure they wouldn't do it. I was 100% sure. Like, why would they do that? Because they can never make a new Super Mario Brothers game ever again. This really will just be a replacement. You know what I mean? So they did it though. They absolutely did it. And like, not only, okay, even then I'm watching this little video and I'm like, okay, but I bet you can only make like one screen, right? You could probably chain together like 4 levels max or something. No, you can make up to 8 worlds and 40 courses. Basically, an entire Mario game yourself. And I think the cap has been raised or will be raised to 100 courses that you can save. So like, legit, people can make their own full, complete Mario games with a million trillion different mechanics and power-ups and everything. So, like, okay, this is amazing. Obviously, it's what everyone wanted. Everybody's wanted this sort of thing since the very beginning of the first game. Like, this makes it the true Mario Maker. This is a full Mario Maker now. Make your own Mario game. And I also just love this because Mario Maker encourages a lot of just really, really wacky design. And I think that's cool, and I love the creativity. Sometimes, though, when I'm sitting there, like, just playing random levels, it's almost like the wackiness is a little too much. Like, everybody wants to make the weirdest, wildest level, and the hardest level. All these levels with, like, 0.00 nothing % completion rates. And it's just like, that's fine in its own way, but I feel like this is going to encourage much more normal and thought out level design, because now people aren't just designing individual levels where they're like, hey world, this is my level, what do you think of it? Now it's like, okay, we're designing games, worlds and games. And I just think that people are gonna have to like step back and look at mechanics and pacing and just be a lot more careful with their design, a little more nuanced. And I think this, I mean, people will still be wacky with it, but I think there's a good chance that we're going to get at least some people creating some really, really good content here. Some content that's really worth playing. At least I hope. I know I won't. I'm not that nuanced of a level designer. I've never been very good at making these stages. But that's my hope. My hope is that after a while, we can go on and just be like, yeah, I'm just going to play through this Mario game now and get some actual, like, legitimate design going on. Pacing and progression and lots of different mechanics on display, that kind of thing. So I do love that. One disappointing thing about this, and it's when I first saw the thing on Twitter, it's disappointing that they are saying this is the last major update. It's possible that they could still do small updates. It's technically possible they could still do DLC, although I really don't think so at this point, especially like this long after launch, them saying last major update. I'm pretty sure this is it for big stuff. And that is disappointing just because, like, I don't know, there was once a time when it seemed like the sky was the limit for Super Mario Maker 2, and I've talked about this before many times, but like, I think everybody kind of expected the game to be a bigger deal than it was. It really was a huge thing on the Wii U. Even though no one had any Wii U's, it had a massive presence on YouTube, so we all kind of thought the same thing would happen on Switch, except multiplied by 5, because everyone has Switches, and it's a big, huge thing, and this is the new game with all these new features and everything. And that just kind of didn't happen. The game sold very well. It was at 5 million units when I did a video on the sales of a bunch of different games. It will no doubt continue to climb by another at least few more million by the end of the Switch's life. So like, it is not a failure at all. It just wasn't a big, massive deal like we kind of thought it would be. So like at launch, it felt like there was so much potential, so much for it to go. And like they didn't end up doing as many updates as I expected. They did a few small ones. If memory serves, the only other major update they've done was that Zelda one, which was cool for sure. And obviously this one is very, very cool. I think I just expected more, or at least more frequent. I thought Nintendo would bring the game to everyone's attention more often, but no. And now that we're here, it's just kind of like, oh, really? We're already done? You guys are already done? I don't know. Just thought it'd be more of a thing. Like, it's almost like I was waiting for some big update like this to, like, I don't know, kick it into overdrive, to get Mario Maker up to that point that I thought it would be before or something. But now, like, it's almost a year since launch, so it's been a while. Now, I will say, this timing is terrific. Very, very terrific. Obviously, you know, especially with Animal Crossing, there's the whole idea of, like, this timing was perfect. Everybody is stuck at home for a long time, so Animal Crossing was just like the perfect game. I almost did a video on it, but then everybody was talking about how that idea was like too obvious, so I didn't do a video on it after all. But it's true, and so now this opens up the possibility for Mario Maker so much. Mario Maker already had, you know, potentially infinite content as far as like playing other people's levels and making your own levels. Just a lot of potential hours you could put in if you were willing to. And so now this, it just increases it by a factor of who even knows how much. This changes the game like almost completely. And so this is perfect because Animal Crossing came out a month ago, and I feel like we are only just now starting to kind of ramp down on the Animal Crossing excitement. Everyone is still talking about it a lot, but like, I don't know, just that big burst of fire right out of the gate, it's just kind of mellowing out. And I even know that myself, I'm already starting to kind of fall into a sort of a pattern with the Animal Crossing. You know, I turn it on and I'm playing it less and less. I'm not spending hours and hours, you know, going to islands and collecting stuff. I'm really just kind of like dipping in, getting my fossils and picking some fruit and checking turnip prices and stuff like that. And I suspect that's happening with a lot of other people too, just because it's been a month, you know. It's things have died down. We're all settling into our little routine. So this is like, hey everybody, remember one of those old games that you had that you could also spend a bunch of hours on? Here's something to completely just revamp the game and change everything. And if you're getting a little bit bored with Animal Crossing, or not bored, but just you're, you know, falling into that routine, you're playing it less and less per day, hey, here's something else. We don't have any new games for you, but we got this. If you like Mario Maker, you've got something to play now, and you've got something to play for a long, long time. And like I said, like this was the last thing Mario Maker needed. It feels complete now. It feels like an actual, like, I already thought it was like a complete package. I know there are plenty of people who didn't think that 2 improved enough over 1 to justify being a full sequel. I kind of did. I kind of thought even just like the single player mode and then just the massive, massive wealth of new features and stuff. I thought it was a terrific sequel. I thought it was just, I don't know, a very good package. But now no one can deny. No one can deny now with this that no, this is it. This is now perfect. Especially like when you hold it up to the other game. This is now, I don't know, it's incalculably better. The question, of course, is, if the game didn't set the world on fire like we kind of thought it would, will this give it a chance to? Or at the very least, will this significantly revitalize the game? You know, will there be that many more people streaming it, playing it on YouTube? Will this increase its overall internet presence? Will this get a significant number of players playing it again and making it relevant and just, you know, turning it into a big thing? Or is it a little too late? Or it's a lot too late. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously it's a lot of content. It's a very big update, but I wonder if it's enough to get that ball rolling again, or if it's kind of like they had their chance and now that chance is kind of done. You know what I mean? Like, will this end up just being a thing that we all say it's cool and we all boot up our games again and we play it for a few days or even like a week or two or something, and then we put it down again? You know what I mean? Like, is this going to keep the Super Mario Maker community really rolling for a good while to come? Could this really breathe new life into the scene? Or yeah, I don't know. Is it too late? I know, like, personally, I think this update is really cool, but I do wonder if I even will look into it that much, just because I don't know, that momentum has kind of stopped. I had my Mario Maker little phase, and I did the review, and I had fun with it, and I kind of moved on, and I'm like, I don't know, like, I probably will boot it up to check it out at some point, but realistically, I don't know how much time I'll spend on it. So I don't know, and that's the real question, is like, would this have changed things if it were present at launch? If the game had launched and been like, hey, Super Mario Maker 2, now you can make your own entire games, entire 8-world, 40-course Mario games. Would that have changed things? Would it have increased the sales? Would it have increased the overall momentum? Would it increase just the popularity? I really do not know. I kind of go back and forth on it. On the one hand, I'm like, I don't know, it would have been cool, but it wouldn't have been that cool. It probably just means the Wii U, you know, it did what it was gonna do. It was a big, fresh, new idea on the Wii U. So no matter what it did on Switch, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal. But then I think I don't know, any number of things can really change the fate of a game. And that might have been enough. Like, it was exciting. People were excited for it. But would this have just blown people's minds? Would this have gotten people just running out to get Switches? I don't know. It's certainly possible. And you know, I mean, obviously, like, now that it's happening now, how much less will the impact be versus if it was there at the beginning? How many more people is it, you know, will this convince people to go buy a Switch? Now they're like, Mario Maker looked cool before, but oh my gosh, now I gotta play it. They'd be kind of out of luck because, like, you can't buy Switches anywhere, which is a whole other discussion. I don't know. I can imagine, and you can imagine, and we can talk about it, but nobody can really know for sure. And that's always a little frustrating when these hypotheticals that we really just can't know. Even if we don't know, though, I can say that this is awesome. This is really, really, really awesome. I don't know. I'm blown away. I never expected it would happen, and yet they did it. They completed the game. They gave us the perfect Mario making package, and I'm extremely happy. Even if I never end up playing it very much, I think it's just really, really, really terrific that Nintendo cared enough to give it to us. They didn't have to. The game sold its 5 million units. It probably sell even more. And yet, there you go. They still decided, yeah, this is worth doing. This is something. And it also, I mean, this is a whole discussion for another day, but this makes me really wonder what they have in mind for the next actual 2D Mario game, because this really, really changes things. But yeah, that's a thing for another day. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Are you gonna play it? Is this like the coolest thing in the world? Or are you already just kind of done with Mario Maker? I don't know. Let me know. You have a wonderful day. I'm gonna wrap this up and go inside because I'm recording in the car, and it is late at night, and it's dark, and it is spooky out here. I don't know, man. I mean, like I have this thing with dogs. I think they're like a little scary. Like, the idea of a scary dog is just scary to me. You know, just like as a kind of like a horror movie concept, dogs can be kind of scary. And so every time I'm walking around at night, I'm always like, what if there's a dog? You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the scariest things I could think of, is like, what if there's a scary dog? And so, like, a few months ago, I was walking to my car at night, and there were some dogs running around the neighborhood, and it scared me so much. Like these kinds of, I can't remember what kind of dog it is. It's this kind of dog that seems extra scary to me, and just like 2 of them, and they were running around. And right after I got in my car, they ran up like past the side of the car, and if they had ran up the side of the car before I gotten in, I do not know what I would have done. I think I would have screamed and died of terror. Just oh my gosh. And so now I can never, they were just dogs who got out of it. Like, then I saw the owners and they were like trying to catch them. They're just nice dogs, I'm sure. So now I can never feel truly safe at night. So I'm gonna pack up my microphone and just kind of run back in the house as fast as I can, like a little kid running back to his bed at night. I'll see you later. Ugh.